My name is Judith Crabtree, and I want to say hello to everybody in India.
Every day a sparrow came to the storyteller's house, through the open window, and perched on the old man's chair. There he watched the storyteller write his beautiful stories. One day a messenger arrived. "A prince is born," he said. "You write a story to the child, a pearl, a jewel among stories." And with that he left. Day after day the storyteller wrote the story. When it was finished, he sighed and said, "Sparrow, I am old and tired. If you should come and find me gone, then you, my friend, must get the story to the king." When the sparrow came again, he found the house was empty and the storyteller gone. On a pile of rock lay the old man's beautiful story. "I must take the story quickly to the king," the sparrow cried. "Pick out the stitching and pull off the covers," said a thrush, "and my flock and I will help you carry the pages." So the sparrow snipped the stitches. Away flew the flock and the sparrow. Out of the forest ravens rose and swooped on the startled thrushes. Down the pages fluttered as the thrushes sped away. The sparrow dived for pages, and clutching some in his beak and claws, he was driven from the forest. Four times he came for pages, 4 times he was driven away. But every time, in his beak and claws, he held 3 story pages. At last, at the edge of the forest, the story lay gathered together. But the sparrow sadly shook his head. My beak and claws are far too small to lift a stack of pages. Why choose me to get the story to the king? Then the sparrow saw the grasses, and he quickly set to work. Up and over the trees he flew, and white flags fluttered behind him. Beside a river he rested. Ahead lay towering mountains. My wings, he cried, will never lift me up so high. Then he saw the rushes, and he built a fragile kite. He dragged it to a hilltop, and up it blew, till it caged the sun and glowed like a paper lantern. Past the mountains flew the kite, and over lakes where storm winds blew. Then down it plunged to the water. A goose found the drowning sparrow. She took him gently in her beak and laid him on a grassy bank. The kite she left beside him. When the sparrow awoke, he quickly looked at the pages. Every word had been washed away. The beautiful story was gone forever. And the sparrow hung his head and wept. "Why do you cry, little sparrow?" asked an owl. The sparrow told his story. "You must tell the king," said the owl. "You must write down all that you have done." And he fetched a pen and berry ink. So the sparrow wrote his story. Next day they sewed the pages to make a book. And the owl wove a net to carry it, and a harness for the sparrow. Then away the sparrow flew, till he came to the royal castle. He flew to a turret window, but an iron grid caged it over. The book could not get through. With the last of his strength he beat on the grid, and someone heard, though no one came. Then the book and the sparrow fell. The royal gardener found him and laid him in a box beneath an open window. The book and the net he took to the queen and told her how he'd found them with a sparrow close beside them. The queen took the book to read. "Ah," she murmured when she'd read it through. "So it was you, little sparrow, who beat against my turret window." And she picked up her pen and carefully wrote how the sparrow's story ended. Then she sent for the body of the bird, but they found the box was empty, and the sparrow was never seen again. When the book was brought to the king, he read it through, then slowly read it through again. He called his scribes together. "Take this book," he said, "and give it many pictures. Then make me many copies, so the children of this land and those who live in far-off lands can read the sparrow's story at the king's command."